my brain the most was you can't believe everything that you think. You can't believe everything that you think. We all gather information. We all gather our beliefs from our environment, from the people we interact with the most. And a lot of those things get very, very rigid in our minds. And we're like, this is how you do this thing. And
Yeah.
it leaves zero room for somebody to come in and say, hey, there's a better way. You do realize there's a better way. You're like, nah. I've been doing this for years, son. I've been out here. My 27 years worth of experience, son. You can't. Nah, man.
You can be a leader, but a leader is a developed set of skills. It's a developed set. State of mind, state of mind, state of mind, state of mind, state of mind.
Leadership State of Mind family, how we doing? Man, it is a great day. We are back.
Yes.
How was 2024? Back from some good holidays.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Man, we're doing great, man. I would tell you the consequences of having a very real job that requires very, very real energy necessitates different levels of focus, which is why we've been gone collectively for a while. But we're back. We'll apologize for that. Some very real world things are happening when you're out here leading for real and not in a classroom, man. You can't do podcasts every week.
Yeah, you can't do podcasts every week. And you know what? I think on the podcast we've talked a lot about the need to recenter and refocus. And one of the things we were able to do was take a little bit of time off too and kind of recharge the battery, spend some time with family.
Oh, definitely.
So I think a combination between real jobs, real life things going on, kind of recharge a little bit. We missed a couple weeks, been gone, but we back now. 2024. Yeah. How was the holidays? You get some time off? You good?
Yeah, definitely, man. Holidays was good, man. We were going to travel away from Japan, but we decided just to take in some of the sights here, some of the cool things that Japan has to offer. Japan is living in like 2055 in terms of like the things that they have available to them in terms of like the technology. And so we've been going all around Yokohama, Kamakura, all these different places, seeing how they do the holidays, right? And they have like all these wonderful illuminations of what they call them, just lighting, LED lighting displays, but they go over the top with it. It is insane. So yeah, we had a good time, man. Had a good time.
That's great, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, I know you love your lights displays, so that's cool.
Exactly, and it hurts me because we haven't been able to set up our lights for this year. But 2024, we going back. We bringing it back.
You doing it? Okay, I like
definitely.
that. Definitely, well, I got to do my first Christmas on the beach, so I can tell you that I've never been in shorts and a t-shirt for Christmas Day. But we definitely had a nice time off. Got to see some stuff, do some hikes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's good to be back, man. It's good to see you. It's good to chat with you.
Definitely.
And definitely, man, want to get started. Got some 2024 questions to start off. And the first thing is we talk about the need to not be stagnant. And so I wanted to ask you, man, like, what are some of your goals for 2024? What are some of the things you're doing to not stay stagnant and continue to grow this year?
Yeah, man. So for me, I would tell you that it's hard to minimize it, because when you've already been in like this place of continual growth and you're like obsessed with continual growth, and it's not, I don't know if it's obsession or like just terrified of getting to a place of comfort, right?
Sure.
I am terrified of comfort. I'm terrified of getting to a place where I can just like, because I feel like there's a greater purpose. There's more things, that I'm responsible for. And I think about just the gratitude of just being alive and being in a place where I understand what my purpose is, understand what I can bring to the table on something. So this idea of just kind of sitting on that that burns me up. So for me, I just never try to get into a place where I'm stopping. So continuing on with the book a week. I didn't last year. I tried to do a book a week. I didn't get all every week, but I got a ton of books because some
Yeah,
books were long and dry, so it took
it happens.
a
It
little
happens.
a little bit more time. But mostly my goals for this year are in the physical domain, right? I want to get I want to become a better runner. I didn't have that for last year. I want to I did the try to do the 100 miles and I got to 79 solely based on I legit my shins were like stop bro. Stop.
Oh man.
Like I'm running every
Okay.
single day trying to make it happen. So that not meeting that goal kind of really pissed me off. So
Yeah.
like I'm dedicated this year to becoming a better runner, to getting to and I will tell you, for me, one of the main reasons I don't run a lot is because I like my size. Like it took me a long time to get to like 195 because my
Sure.
normal weight is like I joined the Navy at like 135. So
Mm-hmm.
it took a long time to get to this place, and now I'm scared of losing weight. So I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's kind of where I
Okay.
am. But definitely trying to I'm putting the miles in this year.
I like that. Yeah, man. Well, so
What about you?
I try to try to be a little more simpler this year. So talking
Yeah,
to a lot of people and listening to some of the things that they say are really important to them, and they talk about stretching and they talk about meditation.
yeah,
So
yeah,
my goal for 2024 is 30 minutes a day, combination stretching / meditation.
yeah.
That's one thing I really want to focus on. My flexibility has always been bad. Um, so I want to work on that, see if that helps a little bit. Try to drop a couple pounds, I just feel like I guess a lot like you in the physical. I mean, I've been running a lot and staying active, but I think it's just the nice weather out here and like all the restaurants and you want to eat and grab a drink and have some fun. So just find some more balance there. And then like we've been talking
Hawaii's
about,
dangerous in that way, man.
yeah,
The
it
food
is
is good. The
all the things.
bread is sweet, bro. Like,
Yes. All the things. All those things. And I'm like, all right, man, I gotta find a balance with that. So
yeah,
just some balance with that. And then the last thing and the big thing is I gotta finish the book this year. Like the book has to be done this year. It will be done this year. It's been
you can't
so
let me get the two.
yeah, no, we
You
already talked
can't
about
let me
it. I
get
can't.
the two.
I'm not gonna let you get to two before I finish the first one. I think I took some time off after I got the master's last year,
Yeah,
and then the transition to this new job just kind of set me back from where I thought I was going to be. So got situated, kind of got a good groove, and so I'm going to get the book knocked out, finish that. So those are some of the goals, and then just the really small one is maybe just one round of golf a month, like just
mm,
one. Like a 4-hour block for me once a month. If I can golf 12 times next year, that would be great. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe
yeah,
7, maybe 6,
yeah.
maybe every other month. But yeah, man. So a lot of stuff to look forward to in 2024. And the first question I gotta ask you, the second question
Yeah,
for 2024 is it new year, new you, or new year, same you?
man, it's the same. It's the
Okay.
same. I don't need to because I don't. I feel like I don't need to change my approach. I'm continuing with my own personal mantra of continue to do what sucks, put
Yeah.
myself in uncomfortable positions, continue to challenge myself. It drives my wife crazy, drives people around me crazy. But I just feel as though going back to the original point, man. I'm terrified of remaining in the same place. Um, it's I think the people that around me deserve the best version of me. And I
Sure.
just I so this new year, I don't need to revolutionize myself because I don't think
Yeah.
those things work. When we get into
Yeah.
this place of new year, new you, I think it's just a saying. It's just a
Yeah.
saying. But it's ultimately it's probably somewhere in the middle, right? For if you want to have that sustained change, we've talked about the level of discipline that's essential. But it's you are who your habits are, right? So if you're looking to make this big jump, it's really unsustainable, right? But
Yeah.
if you're looking to if you want to have that big change, you start with those minor rudder changes, those minor turns, those small degrees, working on the habits, working on those methodical things, because the change is going to be huge, but you can't think about, well, I'm going to make this huge jump and have it coincide with the beginning of the year. Right? It doesn't work. The proof is in the pudding. The scientific data shows, right? It's not about this big change. It's about these small methodical habit alterations over the course of the year, over the course of time, that's going to get you ultimately to the change that you want.
Exactly. Yeah, man,
Hopefully
I
that answers
agree.
your question.
No, that was a great answer to a question. I mean, that's what we're talking about. I always think it's funny because I see New Year, New Me, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
mean, I have some new goals this year, some things I want to
Yeah.
accomplish, but like, I'm not, life is about growth and development, not about like reinventing yourself all the time. I don't know. I'm not Prince. I
Yeah,
can't
man.
like change my name to a symbol. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to grow a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
But all right, man. So we're gonna get back into the normal flow of the podcast. And so the
Yeah.
first topic is, it was all good just a week ago. So
Yes.
what'd you learn this week, man?
Man, so it's been a long week from the podcast perspective, but I'll tell you, man, I really started to dig more into the impact of human nature. And our natural human nature is our worst enemy in leadership. Right? Because when I talk about human nature, I talk about our desire to have the world revolve around us, to be the main character in our own story. Right?
Yeah.
Because that desire to be the main character means that everything is about me. Everything is focused on me. Everything is for my benefit. But in leadership, you have to move yourself out of the center of the orbit. You have to move yourself, from the everything rotating around you. You got to be on the outskirts and move the people that you lead into the center of that world, and things revolve around them. They are the main character. And that's such a hard thing because it goes back to self-preservation. Every system, my nervous system, my brain, freeze, fight, or flight, everything goes towards self-preservation.
Yep.
Right. And if I sense danger in anything, in any realm, meaning that me not being at the center of things, I can sense danger in that way, go to freeze, fight, or flight. And now that's telling me I need to worry more about myself. When this leadership thing is hard, it's going to be difficult. You're going to sense danger in different realms, right? Whether it's, hey, am I gonna make the wrong decision here? Or if somebody does something wrong, what is somebody going to say to me about that? Am I going to be in position to lose my job? Are they going to get me fired on my day off? Right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that these are the kind of hard decisions that we make as leaders that go against our natural self-preservation instinctual response. Right? So if I continue to just listen to the natural human nature inside of me, that voice that says, protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself, I'm not going to be the leader that I need to be, and more importantly, the leader that people need me to be, because ultimately that's what it's about. So just digging more into the human nature and trying to do more of the work on myself to make sure that I'm not listening to the main character voice of our mind, right?
Yeah.
But taking me out of that center and putting the people that I lead into the center and doing the best I can to understand and appreciate their world rather than just living solely in mine.
Man, okay. I love that. I actually had to write mine down a little bit, man, because it really hit me. What I said was, what I wanted to talk about was, I learned about the importance to embrace the valleys as much as the peaks. In life, sometimes we hit lows, but lows build you stronger and help you climb to higher peaks than you ever thought possible. And so I think my big takeaway is that in leadership, you got to be able to explain to people that you're not always going to be at the peak. It's not always going to be all the way up here, but the valleys are part of the journey, right? And so if you can embrace those valleys and be like, hey, man, like, it's okay. I made a mistake, but you only going to fool me once. Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do to make sure I'm ready for next time. I'm going to do this, and this. And then the next time you're on the upward trend, you go further than ever imagined. And so I just think to keep that in perspective for everyone, right? Because no one has it perfect and everyone's going to make mistakes. But if you embrace those valleys, I think you can soar to higher peaks. That was kind of mine.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, next topic, next question. The blueprint. What you read, man? What book you read?
Yeah. So surprisingly enough, I'm reading Dave Goggins' second book called Never Finished.
Oh my god, I think it's better than the first one. It's so
It is.
good.
I was so hesitant to get the book because his first book ain't hurt me. I was like, what more can you say, bro? Like that Joker was super dope, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, man, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get this book. And I'm like, oh, okay, we went deeper on this one, man. This is a good book, man. And
When
I
when
love
you
Dave Goggins because he has zero care of any outside noise, any
Yep.
outside opinions. It's solely about how can I make myself better. And he does it through embracing the suffering. It's like, I'm going to intentionally put myself in the most worst conditions just to see what I can extract out of myself new in that darkness. Like and he talks about what gold can you mine? And I love it. I love every minute of it. Personally, I'm not as extreme. I'm not as
Sure.
extreme as him
Sure.
in that way. But I think that the things that we do day to day and continuing to challenge ourselves, like that's still the intent, right? It's that going into that dark place, doing what sucks. Hey, I really don't. I, man, I don't really want to do this. I know this is gonna be difficult. Now, even our approach to leadership, it's a harder
Yeah.
way.
Sure.
It's a harder way. It's a more difficult way because ultimately, we as E9s, as Master Chief, as being at terminal pay grade, we ain't really got to do nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have to get better.
Yeah.
We don't really have to continue to challenge ourselves to continue to grow because we've quote unquote reached the pinnacle. And going back
Sure.
to your the embracing the peaks and the valleys, there's nothing worse than getting to a peak and thinking that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's always going to be more. There's always going to be higher peaks to go to. Right? That means that you got to be willing to go back into the valley.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody does a better job of not glorifying, but showing the benefit of the valley better than Dave Goggins in his books, man. So yeah, that book is.
I feel like I did you a disservice because I read that book when I first got out here, and I feel like maybe I didn't sell it enough to you because I'm with you. That book was, first of all, the things that stuck out to me in that were he talked a lot about having like battle buddies, people that you're ready to go to war with, like how to have the right people around you. The chapter with his mom was deep. I mean, oh my god! Like, hey, listen, hey, shout out David Goggins, man. Go check the book. The one part that made me think about you in that book, where I was like, this is some definite Armand stuff. Like, none of us in the first book, we didn't know that he wrote, like, essentially people were like, this can't hurt me is not good. And then he did it on his own, doubled down on himself. I'm like, if that's not some Armand stuff, like, I mean, I read that and I was like, yeah, man, that's a great book. I'm amped up. I'm amped up just you talking about it. That's a good book.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. What's yours?
All right, so we were talking about this the other day. I think when it comes to movies, if Denzel's in something, I'm probably going to check it out. It's just gonna happen. You got those couple of actors where you're like, the movie's gonna be good because Denzel doesn't miss. Ryan Holiday and Adam Grant are some of those authors for me. Like I just feel like they have such a good perspective and really help align me and get me in a good place. So Adam Grant just dropped Hidden Potential, which was kind of a deep dive into understanding the potential that you have and like how to unlock it in your kids, how to unlock it in teams, how to unlock it in yourself. So great read. Probably got like another couple chapters left, but really good book. Really, really enjoying it. Always a fan.
I have it in the queue. I have it in the queue.
Okay, so you also an Adam Grant fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
facts, facts.
Yeah, so we talk about being better versions of ourselves. So hidden potential and kind of figuring out how to unlock some of those things and have different approaches to stuff is always gonna pique my interest. So that's what I'm reading right now. Love the book. Love the book. And now what I want to hear is I want to hear what bars did you hear recently that spoke to you? What type of
Yeah.
bars were dropped that you need to share? What's your quote?
So listen, I don't know who said this.
Okay.
I was just
Unknown.
I was kind of scrolling, and some guy just said this, and I could not find it again. You know how like if you're on Instagram and you go by like a
See
reel,
it?
it's hard to go back and find that same thing if you don't like it.
Yeah.
But this guy said this thing, and that I only heard it one time, and that joker stuck with me. He said, "Aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort. The more aggressively we seek comfort, the faster we age."
Mm, that's why I feel so young. I like it.
I, that thing stood out to me because like I said, I told you I'm terrified of comfort, man. Like
Yeah. Wow.
getting into
Okay.
that place where I'm not, where there's the stagnancy you talked about. And I
Mhm.
heard that quote, I was just like, yes, that
I
yeah.
like that.
Aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort. The more aggressively we seek comfort, the faster we age.
I love that. Wow. Okay. Man, you always dropping bars, man. Every time we do this, you always got. I hear your bars. And I'm like, I don't even want to say mine. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
So here's what I
what you
got
got
for
over
you.
there?
Yeah, man. Here's what I got for you. It is more important to be good ancestors than dutiful descendants. Too many people worry about being custodians of the past instead of stewards of the future. We worry about making our parents proud when we should be focused on making our children proud. The responsibility of each generation is not to please our ancestors, but to make it better for our descendants.
Ooh, that's good.
So, I,
That's good.
Adam Grant, thank you. I appreciate it. What he was talking about was that when do you like at what point do you realize that like your job in life is not to like make your parents proud anymore or to like do things for them. You want your kids to be proud. So like stop trying to focus on them. And I love my parents. It's not like a
Yeah.
take care of my parents thing, right? Like parents are I love you, mom, I love you, dad. But really it's about becoming a person that your kids are proud of and
Yeah.
that you're doing things for them. And I think as a young father, a young couple having kids and stuff like that, like you're kind of still chasing your parents' support or
Hmm.
appreciation for things. And if you shift your mindset on what's really important in those moments, it's not about that. It's more about what your kids think and what you're creating for the future. That just kind of stuck with me.
Definitely. That's good though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah. Putting putting yourself more in the dimension of thinking of, all right, how can I? We are, because you hear the song where it's like the children are our future, but we won't
Yeah.
act like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Definitely. Nah, yeah, man. So
it's good.
that was the bars, man. Yeah, I'm kind of sad. I don't know who said that bar for you.
Yeah, I'm a, so I'm a, I, I've been plugging it in, man, and been
Yeah.
trying to find that same thing, but I can't find out I can't find who said it, man. I'm gonna continue to look, and I'm gonna
Okay.
try to do whoever said it that the proper service, so I can give them the proper credit, him or her
Yeah.
the proper credit. So yeah, man,
But either
that
way,
was
well, hey man, if you watching the podcast, let us know because
yeah, absolutely, man,
some
absolutely,
bars, some bars.
yeah.
All right, man. So the next segment, 99 problems, but leadership ain't one. What's your one tip for the week?
My tip for the week: do not confuse the adversary. Do not confuse the adversary. Your adversary is not your coworker. For our military types, your adversary is not your chief. It's not your department head. It's not your manager, right? your adversary, the goal is the adversary trying to meet that goal, trying to meet that purpose, trying to drive towards the intent of why you're doing a thing. In the military, our adversary, right now, it is over in on the other side of the world, right? And we see them building up. We see them getting ready for some inevitable fight. But if I'm spending so much time fighting my brothers and sisters who are going to battle with me,
Mm-hmm.
because we have some kind of personality difference, we see the world differently. They're a Cowboys fan and I'm a Falcons fan, or whatever the case may be. So
Yeah.
I take the energy that I could be focusing on the real adversary towards my brother or my sister that's in the fight with me.
Yeah.
As an organization, as a team, I can't fulfill my full purpose if I'm confusing the adversary. So don't waste time fighting those who are right in the battle with you. Don't fight your team members. Don't listen. It's just a misunderstanding. It's just a lack of communication. These things are easy to resolve.
Yep.
But if we're taking the time to fight our people, we'll never fulfill our full potential. We'll
Yeah.
never ever get to the place where we need to get to really go combat that real adversary. And so we got so many different things that are fighting progress, that are keeping us from our goals. Let's not do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's not fight ourselves, right? So don't confuse the adversary. That's for me. That's a lesson I'm seeing in the realm that I'm in right now. There's some infighting that is completely pointless, and we can't confuse the adversary. We got a bigger goal. We got a bigger purpose.
I like that. I like that. I thought you was gonna hit me with the post I saw from today from you, which I thought was great. Your link, your LinkedIn one, man. That was great. All right, man. So my lesson for the week is, it started with a quote by Maya Angelou. Said, "I do my best because I'm counting on you counting on me."
Ooh.
So I think sometimes leaders don't understand how much what they do affects the people around them. And if you can keep in mind that, like, what you say, how you act, what you do, that people are looking up to you all the time and they're counting on you to do the right thing so that they know what the right thing looks like. If you like take every day, like, I don't want to let down the people that I serve because they're looking to me to be the guy or girl that does the thing the right way. Maybe you have a different perspective on how you handle a situation. Maybe your delivery when you're frustrated sounds a little different. Maybe you look to motivate, lead, and inspire instead of lead through fear or some other means. So Maya Angelou, I'm sure that's not the only quote she has, but I saw that and I was like, man, it kind of really hit home, because if we can't take a step back and realize that if you're doing this leadership thing right, that people are looking at you and counting on you and paying attention to how you move, how you talk, what you say, you're gonna let some people down, right? So
That's
people are always watching.
That's a fact.
Yep. So that's my man. 99 problems, but leadership ain't one. Remember, they're always checking you out. They're always watching you. So
they're always watching. They're always watching.
But they're counting on you though, right? Because they trust you to believe in you. So don't make them wrong.
I just think about one of the things that sticks out with what you just said. I you never know what somebody gains from you. Like, you never know what the thing is that's gonna stick. Mm-hmm. And like, you get a message pop up from somebody that says, "I remember when you said something to somebody and I was just in the room and it changed everything for me."
Yeah.
And you're just like, "What?" And a lot of times you don't even remember. You don't even remember what was said. Like,
Yep.
and you're just like, yep, that's what, sure, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, man, it's so true. It's so
Well,
true.
listen, I got a Facebook Messenger today. It was like, hey, you're one of the first people I thought of. I wanted to share with you. I just found out I got picked up for a commissioning program. Thank you for everything you did. Thank you for being the motivation. I mean, it was such a humbling experience, but when
Yeah.
I really think about it, I think that sailor was at the command for 6 months before, like, from when I got there. And so it's not to brag. It's just the point is, like you said, you it could be one conversation. It doesn't have to be a long thing. It could just be the bottom line is, if you're doing things the right way and you have the right mindset, you can really build something where people are counting on you. So
Yeah, definitely.
all right. Well, I appreciate it. Definitely going through all the segments with you, man. I think that's always my favorite part, man. Especially because you're
Yeah.
always dropping more bars than me. Gosh. Wait till the next one. I'm coming with fire.
Same here,
But,
man. Same here.
yeah, man, I know. So as we get into 2024, we kind of get into the topic for today. I'm going to start with this, and I just need you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind when I say it. Forget your leadership style and be adjustable to the situation.
The first thing that I think about, I would say, is weird, right? Because we talk about leadership, and we're talking about how to be the best possible leader. But the first thing that I think about is Bruce Lee.
Okay. Mine like
First thing I
water.
think about, be like water.
Yep.
So I remember growing up and thinking, man, karate was the thing. Like,
Yeah.
because Karate Kid, Crane, Let's Go, right? And then seeing like Ong Bak and Muay Thai, seeing all these different styles and thinking, man, that was it. And now you got UFC, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you're just like, which one is the best? Which one is the style that's gonna meet the need all the time? And I go back to Bruce Lee and drawing these parallels into leadership, where it's like transformational leadership, servant leadership.
Mm-hmm.
You have at points in time, situational leadership. You have all these different leadership styles, that come online from year to year. They get propped up, and this is it. No, this is how you're supposed to be. No, this is how you're supposed to be. You want to be. You got to be a transactional leader because it's give and take, and it's like, which one is the most conducive for every situation? And then I got to a place where it's like, man, I was convinced for a while that transformational leadership was it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just started thinking about all the different scenarios. And ultimately the goal is to be styleless, right? Because if I'm locked in on one style, if I'm locked in on one rigid approach, as flexible as it may be in and of itself, it still has barriers. It still has limitations. And I guarantee you that once you lock in on that one style, on that one approach, you're going to meet somebody that's not going to fall within the barriers of your perspective.
Yep.
And what do you do then? Right? What do you do then when you find that person, that group of people that are just like, what? What is that? Or they don't respond to what you're offering, right? That's the thing, right? And it's the ability to take your leadership style, and hey, you've probably learned some great principles out of that, because I don't think you can all the way throw away the leadership style that you may have that may fit your personality. But I think the conversation, for today really is like, what are the principles in there, right? What are the principles in these leadership styles that allow you to be flexible, that allow you to meet the need of the people, that you have the privilege of leading? Because it's ultimately about them, not about my leadership style. Oh, my leadership style is this. Who cares?
Yeah.
If it ain't meeting the need, who cares? What do you think?
Well, I think that you're this is why I read books. This is why I don't stop growing, because I have a fear that I'm not going to be able to reach everyone if I don't know different ways to reach everyone, right? And one of the topics we talked about was psychological safety. And with
Yes.
psychological safety,
Yes.
it talks about creating an environment that people feel comfortable and people feel like they're safe to talk things, to discuss ideas, to do all those things. So that's not a leadership. Like, I don't think that that's like one of those, like, that's not a style, right?
It's an outcome.
But it's
Psychological
an
safety
outcome.
is an outcome, right? Yeah.
It's an outcome of how you lead. But my point
Yep.
to you is, like, they're not telling you how to lead, they're telling you what the outcome needs to be, right? So if
Yes.
you take the concept of, like, this is what I want the end state to be, then who cares how you get there, right? Like,
Yes.
whatever leadership style you take. The other thing that I think about is that whatever we do, we have to be genuine and authentic in how we do it, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes just being real and being yourself is, if you're doing things the right way and you have a good foundation, then people will just trust your process because they know that you genuinely care about them and you're taking care of them, right?
Yeah.
So my big takeaway is keep reading, keep learning, taking all these little tidbits, and then build your what you like, what your fundamentals are, right? Like, if Armand could tell
Yeah.
you what his philosophy is and what he believes in, right? He could walk you through what he thinks are the keys to success in his organizations, but that's just your pillars and your base, right? The
Yeah.
base is how you get, like, okay, so for me, it's leadership through peace, right? So it's taking care of people, setting clear, concise expectations, positive attitude, build the right culture, great, and then excellence on a daily basis. But that's the base on how I'm going to lead and what I believe
Yeah.
in. And how I lead is based on the situation. And so that whole concept is, it can't be like, well, he doesn't get it, and so he's wrong. Like, no, man. Like, maybe you need to work on your delivery. Maybe what
Yep.
you're saying, they're not vibing with it. And so what are
Yep.
you going to do? Are you just going to be like, well, I guess they don't care? Or are you going to look in the mirror and be like, I need to change what I'm saying and how I'm getting there? And so the last
Yeah.
point for this, because I know you got something you want to jump on, is when people don't respond to you, don't blame them. Take a look in the mirror and see what you can change about your delivery and how you're leading them to get a different result. Because if you're like, oh, well, they just don't respond to me because they don't care. If that's your response, then I assure you, you got some growing to do, right? And so you got to be able to take a step back and be like, okay, this leadership style isn't working, but what can I do to get through to this person? Because it's my job to take care of these people and make them better versions of themselves. So
Yep.
don't look in the mirror. Don't get mad without looking in the mirror first.
Yeah. I would say one of the things I think about, especially these days and in current times, is the label. And what I mean by that is this generation
Sure.
we project what we think about people and we generalize it into this generation. Oh,
Yeah.
this generation just doesn't listen. And we just have this absolute obsession, this necessity to put labels on things. Well, this is Gen Z, or this is millennials, or this is, and this is who they are, because we're trying to simplify this process instead of taking the time to really dig in and understand and appreciate people.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think labels are. And I think sometimes labels work great, right?
Sure.
Right? Labels telling you what price something is. Labels defining whether the ingredients are in certain things, right? But I don't think you can put labels on people, because I think the first thing that happens is you judge based on that label.
Mm-hmm.
And when you place that judgment, when you place that generalization on people, you rob them from their individuality. You rob them of their uniqueness. You rob them of who they actually are. And you can't lead anybody through that. So
Yeah.
when I try to place this label even on myself as a certain type of leader, as a certain type of style, like I do myself a disservice, right? Because now that requires me to now generalize the people that I'm leading out of my own generalization,
Sure.
right? And now I'm not giving them what they need, right? Because now I'm so beholden to this thing that this style, this is who I am, this is what I do, right? But because I'm locking myself into that domain, into that label, right? I I see very, very opaquely who they are because I'm trying to hold so tightly into my style, into who I am, or who I've classified myself to be. And now I
Yeah.
generalize everybody and I put them under this label, classifying them with a shallow group of identifications that don't even matter. Right. So I never want to rob somebody of their individuality. I never want to rob somebody of who they are, even though we have the privilege of serving this wonderful military, being in the Navy, and we wear the same uniform, right? But we're not the same, right?
Yeah.
We're not all the same, and classifying people as, oh, this generation and this is how you have to handle them. No, they're people, man, and honor them as people. Like, it's simple. I
Yeah.
think.
I love that. What I like a lot about what you're saying too is that you're kind of creating an option to, I don't know, just kind of not put someone in a box, right? Like no one
Yeah.
wants to be put in a box. No one wants to be in that situation where they feel uncomfortable or they feel like they're, oh well. It's like when if you tell someone they're stupid, right? Or you tell someone, oh, you can't figure this out, or you're not athletic, or you're putting them in boxes, and then their perspective is going to change, because they think they can do things. That's a lot about hidden potential. Talks about how are you going to unlock that potential in people and not put them in boxes. So,
Yeah.
The other thing is when you're trying to talk to people and you're trying to engage with them, you as the leader, I think one of the things that make people like you as a leader is when you're open to new ideas.
Yeah.
When you're not like, this
Yeah.
is the only way that we can do things.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, what am I doing that's effective? Like, oh, it's really cool. Like we brought up some ideas to you and we told you that we didn't really like something, and you were like, oh, okay, we sure do it that way. Right?
Yeah.
Like it seems like a simple concept, but some people are so dug into like, this is the right way. This is how it has to be. And then they get no wins in any situation. It's all it does is create enemies. Goes back to your point, right? Don't make enemies. Don't make adversaries.
Facts.
You don't need to make. So
Yeah.
if you along with being fluent in your leadership style, be fluent in everything that's happening around you. So
Yes.
what did Mike Tyson say? Right? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So everyone's got this plan about what they want their day to look like and how they want to lead and what that meeting's going to happen and what people are going to say after you say this uplifting, motivating speech. But like, what happens if someone's like, yeah, I don't really like that plan, or that doesn't really sound like a good idea? Like, what do? Are you going to lower your ego? Are you going to allow your ego to get in the way and be like, well, I don't care what you think because of this, I'm in charge. And so this is what we're going to do. Well, now you're counterintuitive to everything that you've been saying prior to, right? So along with being fluent with your leadership style and adjusting to the different types of personalities and people that you serve and lead, you also have to be fluent with some of the decisions that you make, right?
Yeah.
You need to be willing to take other people's inputs. One of the things I often say is, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but if no one else has a plan, I promise you I will have one. So either you guys can come up with, either you can come up with a plan, or we'll go with my plan. And I'm not saying my plan's the best plan, but we're not going to fail. And so the things have to get done. And so your choice, the ball's in your court. And so I think the same. So if you kind of take that mindset, it's very similar to being fluent with your leadership style, right? Because you have to be It's something in your head that allows you to be like, okay, I'm not perfect. I can do this different. I guess, right? If you were to
Definitely.
like sum up.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
all
Hey,
right.
yeah, man, because I would tell you, as you were talking, the thing that was resonating in my brain the most was you can't believe everything that you think. You can't believe everything that you think. We all gather information, we all gather our beliefs from our environment, from the people we interact with the most. And a lot of those things get very, very rigid in our minds. And we're like, this is how you do this thing. And
Yeah.
it leaves zero room for somebody to come in and say, "Hey, there's a better way." You do realize there's a better way. You're like, "No,
Mm-hmm.
nah. I've been doing this for years, son. I've been out here. My 27 years worth of experience, son. You can't." Nah, man. But I would tell you, I 1000% agree with you, especially with the point that you made about being a decision maker, because
Yeah.
I think ultimately what you're trying to get to is a meritocracy. The best idea wins. But if ain't
Yep.
nobody, I'm the same way. If ain't nobody gonna make no decision, just know I'm in there like swimwear. I got a plan. But the goal is that meritocracy, and I kind of call it the collaborative brilliance piece, where
Mm-hmm.
aggregating the brilliance of everybody in your team, and collectively the mastermind effect, so to speak, will generate that best answer. I would tell my teammates all the time, I was like, look, my 27 years of experience is pales in comparison to the nearly 400 to 500 years worth of experience
Yeah.
that exists within an individual mess, right? Individual team. So it's really about that collective, and that keeping that recognition at the forefront of our minds allows us to continue to be adaptable, to receive that new information, to receive those new ideas, and just adds more efficiency to the problem solving kind of matrix that you're already trying to navigate through as a leader for yourself. So I'm with you, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we've mentioned this quite a few times. The key to this leadership strategy, this ability to kind of just take different situations and know how to like use the leadership strategy that's required, and the ability to take in information from the team. The rule number one you got to remember is to remove ego, right? Like,
That's it.
it's
That's
not,
it.
it doesn't need to be your idea. It doesn't, like,
Yep.
what if we're trying to win? Who cares if A, B, C, or D comes up with the right answer, right? So remove your ego, listen to what the rest of the team has in to offer you, and then what you find in the process is that, like you said, if you're running a team of 300 or 400 people, who cares if you've been in this supervisory role for 20 years? If you take 300 or 400 people and add all their time collective, they got hundreds and hundreds of years together, and so they probably have something great to offer. So remove your ego. Let's get the best plan that maximizes, you know, your team, your organization, your culture, and then go with it. And I
Definitely.
think if you do that, you end up in a place where the team is comfortable to bring new ideas, excited about knowing that they have a voice. And then I think that makes the team stronger. And then they trust you more because they know that it's not your way or no way, right? It's, hey,
Absolutely.
this guy is very receptive to taking in other information. And so it's, for him, it's not about he needs to be the guy with the answer. He just wants to see the team win. And if your team believes that you're about the team and not about you, man, like, I
Exactly.
mean, they're going to support you, and they're going to be 100% bought into what you're trying to get across. So if you can do that, I mean, that's what winning looks like. That's what leadership state of mind looks like.
That's it, man. You can't care about who gets the credit. It's about the team. It doesn't matter who gets the credit. We all winning. We all winning. And
Yep.
that's what matters at the end of the day. Man, I hope that, thinking back about the title of the podcast, man, I'm hoping nobody really takes offense to what we're saying, because we honor everybody, and
Yeah.
everybody has a unique personality approach to this. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to challenge you a little bit, right? Trying to just get you to see with a different perspective, because it's not about marginal or average performance. We're talking about great, right? We're
Yep.
talking about we're talking about great performance, right? When we're talking about going from average to good, that's measured in feet, right? But when you're talking about going from good to great, that's measured in miles. So you have to put yourself really through the rigor and ask yourself, are you bringing your best self to bear? And not just your best self, but your best self for the people that you're leading, because that is the key that matters in all of it. So it takes some time. There's going to be pain associated with it, right? Because you may have garnered a belief set that has carried you very, very, very well throughout your career, and now it may be challenged at a different level, right? So that's what we're trying to prepare you for. So don't get in mind. I was not saying completely throw your leadership style out of the window and forget it, but consider a different approach and start to and maybe add or take away from how you are going to carry yourself based on the scenario, right? And which is a really, really specific and nuanced approach that takes some patience and takes some time to really get down. So, Tony, you got any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the last thought is that the only way we can grow as leaders is to never stop learning, to never stop bringing in new information and learning new skill sets to be able to lead. This mind like water mentality that Armand was talking about is built through learning all of these different tactics and different ways to lead and to find the one that best suits for the situation. You can only control what you can control. You don't know what your boss is going to be like. You don't understand how the previous boss was and how the team reacts to you. And so you can walk in with a plan, and you absolutely should have one. Have something that you believe in, a philosophy, pillar, something that like is what you're going to stand on. But understand that until you get in the moment and until you meet your team and meet your leaders and meet your supervisors, they might need something different from you than what you're expecting. And so that's all we're trying to get you to be at, is be at a point where you're like, hey, I'm ready for whatever. I'm going to walk in this situation with a vision of what I want to do, and I'm going to get my vision across. But how I'm going to get there is going to be dependent on my team and who's around me. So if you can have that type of mindset walking into a situation, you are a powerful, powerful person that's ready to support and be a servant leader for those you lead, because you have the mindset to be able to be ready for whatever. And I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. So that's kind of my last thought on mind like water and the ability to be flexible as a leader.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't have said it better myself, bro. I think that's a perfect cherry on top, perfect period to the end of the paragraph, man. I think you said it extremely well. But to our leadership state of mind family, I'm gonna tell you like this: if you not subscribed, what are you out here doing? If you haven't liked, what are you out here doing? Let's go. Hit that little bell so that you can know, you can get that notification to know when we drop a new podcast. I promise in 2024 we're going to be more consistent, dropping this super hot fire for you in the leadership realm. But please like, share, comment, let us know what you think. If you think we out to lunch, hey, we're here for the conversation, baby, because it's all about getting better on both ends. We just talking about what we know, but we're interested to know what you know as well. So, hey, for Tony, I'm Armand, leadership state of mind. We out here.
Peace.